Well, welcome back to the Duck Call Room, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for another glorious, I don't know, what's the day? When's this going to air? Is this a Tuesday?
Or a Thursday.
Or a Thursday.
I bet you it happens on a day that starts with T.
And ends with Y. Ain't that something? There we go.
We do it here in the Duck Call Room.
Yeah, but we do have a special one coming for you today. Look, we sat down with both of Silas's children. So y'all are going to get to meet Si's kids here in just a little bit.
The people just buckled their seatbelt that weren't wearing it.
Yeah, so you're going to get to see what happens if everybody wants to know or say, I wish I was my uncle or I wish I was my dad. Well, you're about to see what happened because of that with Trasa and Scott.
You wouldn't want to be there.
But you will laugh a lot because trust me, I laughed a ton sitting there doing it.
I'm not, me and Godwin weren't a part of it.
No, y'all are going to have
I'm very excited to watch.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, man. It was, and getting to, obviously I know Scott and Trasa and their betrothed, their spouses. But I didn't know some of the stories we talked about. So I'm not going to give any of it away right now, but it is good, man. It is good. We got to listen to, I will talk a little bit about just seeing Trasa and Scott both reminisce about Si dressing up like, the picture, the Easter bunny.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing just how I guess present of a father he was pretty cool. Like, because we obviously know because of Duck Dynasty, Si will put on any costume.
Yeah, the man's never seen a costume he wasn't willing to throw on.
He's been a beaver. He's been a daggum Easter bunny. He's dressed up as my wife, or at the time, my girlfriend. He's worn feather boas with the granddaughters.
Suits.
You name it. The boy has no issue with doing what it takes to play the part.
That's what happens when you're a father of a young lady.
You'll just do it, huh?
You just do it.
Well, I love
girls are different from boys, ain't they?
Oh, no. Yeah.
There's plenty of pictures of me floating around too somewhere of when my nieces were young, because we didn't have kids, and my brother had two girls, and they wanted to put makeup. So I was like, I don't care, whatever. Man, washes off, right? Like,
I haven't ever done the makeup thing.
Lottie ain't got you on that one?
I'll let her braid my hair.
She getting about the age for makeup, though, where it becomes a real big deal. You will do it because those weren't even my daughters, and I did it. So, and Bella and all them the little girls when they were little, I mean, they painted my fingernails and did it. I don't care about that stuff, man. It's just, you just trying to have fun. And so, man.
That's why God knows what he's doing.
Godwin, you ever do makeup with Johanna when y'all were?
I don't think so.
But Godwin puts on makeup every day of duck season because Godwin don't just put face paint on. He got that design go. He got them three fingers that go like that.
He looked good doing it too.
Yeah, Godwin's always had a look at
He like putting that war paint on.
Hey, I got an idea. When you go fishing now, y'all do it with sunscreen.
That's what I ought to do.
And just have you three lines.
There you go. Yeah. That's a natty.
There you go. You could have the look. You could be that guy,
He's the John Randall of the outdoor world.
There you go. Who's that?
The guy that played football in Minnesota, who always had crazy face paint.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He was scary.
Oh. There you go.
There you go.
Starbone has come alive with them big bass, ain't it?
There you go.
I caught a 13-pounder the other day. Little boy did.
Little boy did?
Getting the backlash out.
Oh, I know where I could go to get a big 13-pounder.
Where?
I ain't gonna tell you.
Why not?
What? I'll show you.
I'm gonna have to be the one to take you.
I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you. I can't tell you.
That's right.
Hey, you don't want to let this out.
Golly, I'm about to get Bradshawed in the memory of Phil.
No.
I'm about to get Bradshawed in my boat.
I'm serious.
Where you can just go catch a 13-pound bass, no problem.
No, here's the thing.
But you can't tell us where.
Look, in the heyday when we was fishing it, it was three little sticks sticking up. You went there, and look, you would either a worm or whatever you want to throw, just try to wrap it around, let it slither off, let it go all the way to the bottom. And then, hey, when you cranked it up, hey, you better have a good hold on rod and reel. Well, it was always big fish.
Always a 13-pounder.
Did you throw it around the middle stick?
Yeah, I aim at the middle one. Let it drop and go down. When you picked it up, it like...
He was on there.
Well, he had hit it and tried to take it out of your hand.
Oh, good.
Oh,
grief.
I forget. Godwin doesn't know this because he's not in our group text. Godwin, do you know what our friend Podcast Hunter over there got to experience for the first time this weekend? Look at John David right now.
He loves the Dairy Palace.
For the first time in his life.
What about it? Did you get you some ice cream after?
He ran out to the bathroom.
Dairy Palace. Boy.
I got. They suggested I got a spam burger.
Time out. They did not suggest that.
Spam burger.
I ain't believe it. He ordered it.
I was very against that
Hey,
order.
spam burger's pretty good.
I never had spam before in my life, so that was something.
Wait,
Hey,
time out.
do you like it?
It was all right.
I think
You
I
ate-
like spam burger.
Fried spam is good.
Hey,
Okay.
Like,
Better than I thought.
The double bacon cheeseburger is way better.
yeah, but you can get that anywhere.
Not as good as the Dairy
I
Palace.
kind of wished I got that after I ate
No.
the fried bacon.
See, that's
that
the
one was a must.
That one's the one that hurt you, though.
Yeah, I was every time I burped, which was a lot after, it was all I could taste.
Yeah, that's why you get the ice cream after.
That's how I knew he actually went. I said, "Did you get the chicken fried bacon?" Hunter said, "Yeah, it was awesome until about the third piece." And I was like, "Yep, that's chicken fried bacon. That's how it feels."
Yeah, that checks out, right? Like, ooh.
Oh, man.
will
Dairy
you,
Palace. We always stop there.
will
Go
you
in
be
and come.
back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a must stop.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
if you ever travel with Kay Robertson on Interstate 20 going west, you
You
stopped
gonna
at
stop,
the Dairy
yeah.
Palace.
If you are anywhere between Dallas and Monroe,
Well, you gonna stop first at that barbecue place. Where is that in Tyler?
Yeah.
And you gonna stop there,
oh,
Yeah.
and then you gonna stop at the Dairy Palace.
Mm-hmm.
You get your hors d'oeuvres at Tyler, then you get your meal at
hors
the Dairy
d'oeuvres,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm
I'm
hungry
I'm
now.
glad to know you now, Hunter.
Were you the only
Calm him
person
down.
from that concert at the Dairy Palace afterwards?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
you
And then
want to stop.
I got pulled over for going 73 and a 70, like right outside Shreveport.
No, you did.
Wow.
I did. I have the warning to prove it.
Oh, he warned-
Oh, he
73
just
and a
warned you?
70?
He said, "Boy, you better
Well,
slow
Johnny-
it down. You're going 2 miles an hour over."
Well, I mean, in fairness, you see a little orange car with Louisiana tags coming out of Texas at about 2 a.m. in the morning.
Ah,
Like,
suspect.
yeah,
yeah, you're
better.
gonna pull them
Yep.
over.
Yeah.
Suspect.
It's a good thing
They
you
said-
didn't have an odor coming out.
He
of it.
did have an odor, sir. He just had a spam burger and,
Yeah.
and for dessert had chicken fried bacon.
That's why the cop let him go with a warning. He rolled that window down and said,
Yeah.
God almighty. Like,
That boy got to get to a bathroom.
yeah, this boy's already had a rough enough night. I ain't doing nothing else to him.
If that wasn't weird enough, here's Size Kids.
That's right.
Get angle up.
There we go.
See, there's that short thing again. It's like
Yeah.
riding the rides at Six Flags. You got to
There
be
you
this
go.
tall.
You got to get on your tiptoes
That's right.
sometimes.
I got to have
you know?
Tracy escort me. I can't even ride.
Oh, sign of release.
Y'all laugh, but he did tell me that on our first date that I had to have one of his children so that they could ride the rides at Six Flags.
That's the only
Be
chance
tall
they're
enough
gonna
to
have.
get in.
Oh,
That's a good line.
Yeah.
And she went screaming and running from the car. That was kind of. I thought it was a good line, but she didn't even know what Six Flags was.
Yeah,
so
that's
it was
true.
kind of
That's
fell
true.
flat.
Oh, well, there you go.
Everybody else laughed a little bit.
Yeah. Now that I got your attention, you want to have my baby?
Oh, wow. Very direct. This was the first date, huh?
First date.
Okay. Si, I'm going to let you have the honors of introducing our special guest because I'm almost certain people aren't going to believe this. So,
Well, okay. We've got my daughter, Trasa, on my left, okay, and her husband, Kyle, on the right.
there you go. For all the folks at home, you've been screaming, you want to meet Si's family. Here we go.
Hey, and I'll get this out of the way, okay? There's a rumor that when she was born at the hospital, that there was a big mix-up, okay? Because when they see her, they say, that can't be your daughter.
We always joke that there's some girl in Germany who's out throwing rocks at squirrels in a
Yeah.
park somewhere.
Yeah, with red hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She used to be a teacher, and she was listening to her kids talk about Duck Dynasty, and then she told them, she said, "Oh, y'all talking about my dad." Well, they didn't believe her. Okay, I said, "Well, Trasa, daughter, you need to look in the mirror and then remember what I look like." Okay,
That is what he told me.
I understand. She said, "Well, will you do me a favor?" And I said, "What's that?" She said, "Call me during school time, and I'll put you on speaker and let you talk to my students. I said, okay. So, I called, and it was a hoot,
Oh, man.
They was all shocked, and after that, I don't know what all she had to tell them,
Well, your old nephews used to refer to her as the seventh wonder of the world, or eighth wonder of the world, I guess. And I was like, what y'all mean? Like, you just not going to believe it when you see Si's daughter. And I was like, really?
Well, no, because she's got two things that I don't have.
Brains?
She's got brains and she's beautiful. Okay, so yeah. So I actually told her, I said, well, darling, I understand it perfectly. I said, number one, you're drop dead gorgeous. And number two, you got really good, intellect.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I don't have neither one. The only things I've got, God says it's this way. I take care of fools and children. Well, I qualify in both of them arenas.
Oh, well, Tracy, Kyle, thank y'all so much for joining us today. I know I'm just going to guess that the number one question that our fans would have for both of y'all is, what was it like growing up with Silas Robertson as your father, right? And I say that kind of tongue in cheek because Si didn't get to his full blown crazy stage till about 15, 20 years ago, where he just become basically a comedian. So I'm sure even when I first knew him, if a camera jumped out, he would go hide. So, it's kind of a weird transition. He was fine off camera. It's just when the camera's going, he's like, no, I ain't doing that. But this man, America's uncle, is actually your father. So I think the world wants to hear more about Silas Robertson as a father, if I'm being fair. So
Okay.
I'll let you take the floor on that one.
All right. Well, first of all, it's really difficult because people always think that he is my uncle. And so I've been getting condolence letters about Phil for my father, and I have to explain to people, no, that's not quite the way this works, which is kind of funny. But it's growing up with Dad was funny. He always had this really mischievous, funny streak in him, but for the most part, he was pretty quiet. And he was in the Army, so he was, fairly serious most of the time. And it was when we would go out with his hunting buddies, like in Germany, when we went to the Stammtisch, which is a reserve table event, we would go out and he would turn into this, funny, cracking jokes, talking the whole night. Everybody wanted to be around him. Everybody would kind of surround our table, just to listen to him. And it was always fun to see that side of him. And over time, that side has become more Si than
I love to hear that. So you were an entertainer even then. You never tell that side of it on yourself. You talk about the hunt. You never said you were the entertainment for the hunting events.
Absolutely.
Now I can totally see it, but I had no idea that you were a natural born entertainer, even in Germany, old man. That's
Well, I'll have to say, Mama was the first TV star. Okay.
Price is Right.
In our family, on Price is Right.
Yep.
Okay. Phil and them, when they used to have the camera. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then A&E shows up and Phil said, what happened? And I said, well, hey, when you had me on duck hunting, I said, there was no green stuff involved. I said, A&E showed up and I said, hey, they brought a lot of green stuff. I said, that's when I kind of come out of my shell, so to speak.
Y'all always knew that side was in it.
Yeah, we did. And I used to joke about the cameras, when, like you said, he used to shy away from the cameras, and now it's like if a camera turns on, he's on.
It's a different person takes over.
Yeah.
It really does.
He's on full display all of a sudden.
That's what I tell everybody. He's in full character, right?
Yes.
If there's a camera and a microphone, he's in character. And when he does go shut it down, he shuts it all the way down too. So it's kind of
that's the one I met.
The shutdown? Well, yeah, because you were courting his daughter.
well, here's the deal. I knew him for probably 5 years before I ever met him.
Okay.
Because these two have if we could bottle it, we'd be millionaires. I'm telling you right now. These two can sleep on demand.
Really?
I mean.
So you got that part of the gene, Tracy.
So when we would actually come visit, we dated for a while. They were back in Holly Tree, Alabama. back in those days. And then they moved to Louisiana. And when we'd come here to visit, he'd be in the recliner. She'd be in the other recliner. Christine would go take a nap in the bed, and there's nothing but snoring going on there. I'd sit there and stare at the windows I mean, I never had a conversation with the man for about the first 4 trips down to I mean, I'm telling you.
No, there was a lot of analyzing.
No, is that what that was?
Yeah. From this side.
Introspection.
Yeah.
Deep
Okay, there was a lot
Deep-
of research
yeah.
and development going on.
Little deep thoughts with Si Robertson. That's what they were pretty deep.
It was all a part of your strategy.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
were just testing to see if you
No,
could
no,
break him.
I have never. I'm telling you, you could beat either one of them with a rubber hose, and neither one of them were moving. I mean, it was.
That's
yeah.
funny.
We would be billionaires if we could bottle how we sleep.
It's crazy.
That's-
Well, no,
that's
because
crazy.
last night I didn't. Okay.
Mhm.
I woke up about 1:30, and then the last time I looked at the clock, it was 4:30.
Oh,
Okay, and then I actually went to sleep for a couple hours. But I just,
Well, you used it all up the last time.
well, I don't know why. I say God wakes me up all the time just to tell me something. Okay, because I told Mac Owens was just here and done a podcast with us. Good friend of Phil's, close friend. And I told him, I said, here's what I was thinking about last night. I said, we're on a giant movie set. Okay, and there's a movie being made, a mega movie. Okay, and the title of it is The Man from Eternity. Okay, and I said, it goes on forever. I don't think it's ever going to be finished. But that's what kept me awake last night is I told myself when I was thinking all this, you finally lost it. You've gone insane totally. I said, because here it is, 2 a.m. in the morning, and you're sitting here thinking about, the man from, eternity.
Well, who'd you cast to play you?
No, it ain't nobody, no.
No, everybody's their own character.
Their own
This is about Jesus, okay?
Yep.
So I just, I said, everybody's seen the movie The Man from Snowy River, a Western. I said, well, this one was bigger, better, okay? Yeah.
It never ends.
There you go.
Yeah, they never end.
You never
There
get
you
to the
go.
ending because eternity doesn't end, right? So, Tracy, you spent, I guess, the first part of your life just in Germany with like moving around with the service and all
moving
those
around.
kinds of things.
We moved around quite a bit, and I spent the last time we were in Germany was from the time I was 12 till I graduated from high school.
Okay, there you
But
go.
I actually, my wife still doesn't, she gets mad every time she thinks about it. I actually had to change to a new high school at my midterm senior year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, her friends used to hang out at the house. Well, when it come up, that I got kicked out, which they done me a favor.
Honorably kicked out.
Honorably. It wasn't.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I got kicked out.
Yeah,
I was getting a little lippy, but anyway.
they done had enough of you, and you'd had enough of them.
And I'd had enough of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
But I said, well, hey, I'm going, And then Christine found out I could have stayed, after she graduated, so we left Tracy over in Germany with a good friend, and because I didn't want what happened to me to happen to her.
didn't want that to change right there at the
Let her
very end.
graduate with her friends because it's a big deal,
Well, that's honorable.
That was
that's
it was a super big blessing. for me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool, man. Well, you've
Yeah.
always I don't think you've ever been accused of being selfish. So that part of you tracks. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, you were willing to
Well,
do that
my
for
wife
your
didn't
daughter.
like it. I'll just say that. She said, I found out you could have stayed. I said, hey, don't even bring that up. I'd had enough of them. But when they said I could go, I left. But I've done that my whole career to my wife, okay? She's the one I'd get orders, and I'd come in and say, hey, get everything ready. I'm gone.
She was in charge of logistics at the house.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was the real supply person.
Yes, that's true.
Oh,
That's
man.
true. We went to every daddy-daughter dance that was on the base.
Well, I
And-
did.
And you would dress up, and dressing up was not a big thing for you. You did not enjoy dressing up. You wore a uniform to work every day. And when you could wear jeans and a t-shirt, you were wearing jeans and a t-shirt. And so you would get dressed up and you'd let me get dressed up and you'd take me out for the evening and we'd go and we'd
that was
dance.
one of the honors of being a father.
And so, I mean, you were there when I was a kid. And so you think you weren't, but you were. And the pictures show that. I mean, we have lots of pictures of you with me and, Halloween's dressed up as crazy things, not just the Easter Bunny, but there were all other crazy times you dressed up. And
Well, I remember that's one of the things, and it was an honor for that when I look back on the memories with all you and your girlfriends. And y'all are in there. What little bit of hair I had, y'all were doing things with it.
he did let us in my 6th grade year in Germany with one of my best friends. He let us, and you have to remember his hair was short then, so there wasn't a lot to work with. But he let us put his hair in ponytails and like little corkscrew curls, and just messing with everything we possibly could. And and just having that patience to do that kind of thing.
Well,
was huge.
That's what I told everybody. I said, God's got a lot of wisdom. I said, because he gave me 8 grandsons and no granddaughters. I said, because if he'd have gave me a granddaughter, the grandsons they're out.
They're out.
Okay,
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
out.
Kick them boys to the curb.
Yeah, they're out. Okay.
I'll tell you, I got lucky enough. We were at y'all's 50th anniversary party a couple years ago, right? And y'all's anniversary and my parents' anniversary are the same week. They're within a week of each other.
Yeah.
So while we were down there and you guys were doing your 50th, my parents were doing their 60th. And I remember thinking, when I'm sitting there and I'm watching all this, and again, kind of on the outside looking in, I don't know you as well as and the family as well as obviously as my own, and I don't know the whole Robertson clan as well as I probably should. But I'm sitting there thinking the whole time that whatever it was that you guys spent 50 years doing together produced this. And I am so, you have no idea how grateful I am for this woman. This is the single greatest human being I've ever met in my life. I'm not kidding you. And I don't just say that because I have to ride home with her later.
Me and my wife refer to her as the queen bee.
And you should. But a lot of all those characteristics, all those things that I've always loved about Trasa, all those things that I've admired about Trasa, all those things that I am just in awe of about Trasa came from somewhere. It came from somewhere, and whether you want to give all the credit to Christine or not, is up to you.
I do,
but it comes from both sides, and I see a lot of you in her every now and then. I see a lot of Christine in her every now and then. But I'm just grateful, and I wanted to tell you guys that night, and I didn't get a chance to, or I guess I forgot to. But I just want to say thank you.
Well, see, we see that by the way you treat her.
Well,
okay. So
she's the queen. I have to.
Well, no.
Head
Off of the
comes
head.
off.
Yeah.
Off of the head.
That's what happens when you have all boys. You're the queen of the house. So
It is kind of funny. And we've tried to teach the boys. I mean, she'll go out. She doesn't even reach for a door anymore because she knows one of the gentlemen in our house is going to open the door.
Hey, that's
So it's
training.
kinda-
That's training
that's-
right there.
that's
man.
right.
I love to hear
That's
that.
something that should be taught more.
It should.
Okay?
It absolutely
That's
should.
what I grew up with. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
You always open the door for the lady.
There, faith, courtesy,
Oh, yeah.
kindness, and respect. If we could get all 4 of those things back in the world today, we'd be a whole lot better place.
And so y'all
I,
have.
I raised her. Okay. The one thing I am proud of, I raised her, and I tell all the young ladies I meet today, be proud of your womanhood.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You can do anything in this world you set your mind to. Okay. That's one thing she got from me. Okay. And her mother.
Confidence.
Confidence
Confidence in who you are.
Yeah.
You're supposed to raise this child to be a decent adult human being.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And like I always tell people, I didn't ever grow up. I'm always going to stay a kid. Okay. As much as I can. I have to be somehow half adult sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I
Only
think,
when forced to.
Oh yeah. It's definitely forced. Okay. Because Hey, being an adult sucks.
Amen
Okay?
to that.
'Cause you
buddy.
do stuff you have to do. Okay, so
No, but I definitely think I got that from you and from this side of the family is a very strong sense of self.
Well, y'all, so we got a little bit in this part of it, but y'all have 4 sons, right?
We do, yep.
And how old are they?
They are 26, 24, 22, and about to turn 21.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
had 4 and 6 years.
So is the
6.5
nest
years.
is the nest empty?
Oh no! Oh
no, they
no! No, they are all back. They are all back. And-
I love Dad. No.
no, let me tell y'all,
Okay.
we have a sound machine we have to turn on at night so that we can go to bed because they are all nocturnal and they all start playing their games with
Oh
their
my
friends
gosh.
at 12:30 at night, and we're like, we are tired. We want to go to bed.
And it's a little older house.
Terrible.
It's a little older house, and everything carries through the vents. So we hear
It's terrible.
And what's weird is they can't hear each other in their rooms,
But you hear
but we can
everything
hear
they-
all
We can hear
4
all
of them
4 of
coming through.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh man, I
It's a
didn't
mess.
even mean to break open an old wound there. Golly, but the look on Kyle's face
Yeah.
said, I was
Hold
like, I done stepped in something here.
No.
My bad.
Hey, to say that they have a strong family unit is an understatement.
That's very true.
Oh. Well, I think that
Yep.
I think the nocturnal goes away with age.
It's age.
Right?
It's an age thing,
You know,
yeah.
Hey,
it's,
what I thought about right there is when you throw a rock in a bunch of a cage of dogs. The one that hit screamed, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
When you asked him, yeah.
listen. I love my kids. I do, and I'm one of those people that. I'm like my dad. If I could, I'd just keep building onto the house and have them live with
just
me
add
the
on.
whole
add on.
whole life.
Yeah.
I would, but at night.
Yeah. When it's time to
at
go to
night.
bed.
At night.
We'd like some more
It is.
soundproofing. Let's
Yeah.
just say
if we
that.
could,
If we could soundproof a
I
little
get
better.
that.
but-
It took me, I would
Oh.
say, till I was around 30 or so before I became non-nocturnal.
Yeah.
Now, during duck season, you go to straight
Oh yeah.
diurnal, I guess is the correct term, because you got to sleep at some point.
Yeah.
But no, when it wasn't hunting season, I was the same way. You're up all night. I don't know what it is. It's
Yeah.
like, I think because a lot of it is your mind is wondering about who you are, where you're supposed to be, what are you doing, as a young male, especially in today's society, there's a lot of stuff you're trying to figure out, and y'all are tasked
Truth.
with raising 4 of them, and my hat's off to you because I got 2 of them, and I don't know how in the world if you doubled that. I have no idea. I mean,
Once you go from 2 to 3,
Yeah.
like that's the biggest
It is.
change
It's
because you're
huge.
going from man-to-man coverage to zone coverage.
full-time
And
zone,
full-time
right?
zone.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
So
then the 4th one's no big deal because you're like, oh, I already know how to do
That's
this.
how they done it. Their coach, it's a coach.
That's right.
Yeah,
Oh.
we actually have.
We planned it out.
Yeah, planned it out. I like
the only
it.
problem is apparently I can't trade them.
Can't trade it for a better player or cash
I
consideration.
keep asking when the trade deadline is, and she tells me it's already passed.
Oh man, that's
Yeah, and the kids keep asking about the transfer portal, but
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. NIL. They still want NIL. I know.
Oh man.
You got NIL for years.
Oh man, I love it.
your room and board is
That's
your
right.
NIL.
That's right.
Oh,
You're on
man.
scholarship, and you've been there for a while.
Oh man. Well, thank y'all so much for stopping in. We're spoiler alert for the other part of this episode. We're going to sit down and talk to Scott too. So we're going to
That'll
split
be
it.
fun.
We're going to split this half and half between daughter and son, and Si's gonna face all of it. So no, thank you so much, Trace and
All
Kyle, for
good.
coming in. We appreciate you guys. Y'all are always welcome here if you ever make the drive over from Fort Worth. Isn't that home?
Yep,
Fort
yep,
Worth
yep.
is home, right? Yeah,
Just
that's what I
outside there,
thought. So man, we appreciate y'all coming by, and stay tuned while we get the other half of the Si Robertson family tree in here. Look, our friends over at MyPillow have a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. But the MyPillow folks didn't stop by just creating the best pillow. They have created the best bed sheets ever too. And right now, MyPillow is offering the best deal on Mike Lindell's Per Cow bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98.
That's a great deal.
That's
That's under
unbelievable.
$25.
You know why it's such a great deal? Because the MyPillow Per Cow sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel and have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep, which is crucial for our busy schedules. I don't care if you want bed sheets or if you want towels or if you want a robe or you want some slippers or pillows or anything else you may need for the great indoors, our friends over at MyPillow have got everything you could want, and that's why we've been partnered with them for so long.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you and JD said it all.
I said
How
it
about
all.
that robe, though?
Hey, you got to have the rope, boy.
You got to have everything they make.
That's right.
Mike Lindell said, you know what? Outdoors is cool. Indoors is better. Watch me make it so great you can't stand it all for only $24.98.
Yeah, there you go. Look,
that rhymed.
Right there. And look, for a limited time, when your order is over $100, you will receive $100 in free digital gifts. Just go to mypillow.com/ to receive the MyPillow per cow sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 1-800-969-3137 using the promo code
DUCK.
One more time, that number again is 1-800-969-3137. Use the promo code
DUCK.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And as we promised after the first part of this podcast, we have more special guests with us. We have Si's other half of his progeny, so to speak. I guess that's the right word that I'm looking for there. But we have Scott and Marcia, so Si's son and daughter-in-law are in here with us, and the old man is raring to go. I know y'all are looking at this if you're watching on YouTube and saying, well, y'all are wearing different clothes. Spoiler alert, we had to do this on different days because we've been through a little bit this week. We've had some schedules.
They had to travel about 30 hours.
Yeah, and they had a lot. It's a lot longer from Idaho to West Monroe than it is from Fort Worth to West Monroe. So
just a little bit.
Look, we're going to start this out. I'm going to take you back. Tell everybody when you first met.
Oh, here we go. All right. Are y'all ready for this one? So anybody who knew Phil knew that he was not a hugger.
Ooh, that's to put it lightly.
And anybody who knows me knows I am a hugger.
Go on in there.
So Scott and I pulled up at Kay and Phil's house, and here comes Phil out the door to come meet me. And I did my thing. Scott went up and shook his hand and said, "This is my wife, Marcia." And I'm like, "Hi, Uncle Phil." And I gave him the biggest hug ever. And out of the corner of my eye, Scott's face is like.
The look on Phil's face was interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I imagine.
It was interesting.
I can only imagine. Yeah, that wasn't his style.
No. But he hugged me back.
Oh yeah.
And then proceeded to take me into the living room, sat me down on the couch.
Yeah. How long did it take him to ask you about Jesus?
Oh, it was
right away.
It was right away. Right away. And I think some people have been intimidated by him, but it was just a conversation to me.
Yeah.
I was just talking about Jesus and how much I love Jesus, and it was all okay.
Yeah.
It was really funny though, because like right after that, Phil doesn't mince words. He never has. He comes up to me and he goes, "Merritt, you got you a good one this time."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I got the seal of approval.
She got the stamp of approval.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is a hard thing to get from him too. He don't sign off on many folks, that's for sure.
Nope.
He was a man. He had a certain set of standards. So if he signed off on it, you could pretty well bet that it was solid. That's awesome, man. We're happy you guys are here. We obviously wish it were under different circumstances, right? But just like I told Tracy and Kyle, man, one of the comments we get a lot on this podcast is we would love to meet Si's family, and we're the same deal. Like, man, they're just scattered to the wind, right? Like it's not as easy as you think it is. So that since we had that opportunity, we
here we are.
Yeah, we thought, man, why not? And so, yeah, Scott, I'm going to ask you something that I asked Tracy just because I think it's fun. You had America's uncle as your father. How was that? Like, when I say that, I know that's a loaded question, but we all see Si as who he is now, but as the goofy guy that keeps everybody laughing and keeps everything so lighthearted and all the things, but as a father in the military and all the things, and I know you are a service member of ours as well, and which we want to take a minute too to thank you for that. But Yeah, America's Uncle as your father, was it as entertaining then as it is now? Or I mean, has he always been like this, or how is it?
No, he's always been like that. The word that comes to mind for me is it was dynamic.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because you got Si, and then you have me. I'm the new and improved version. And it was a little rough. Like anybody that truly knows me knows I am a very high energy person.
Can't imagine where you got that from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not even a little bit.
I'm either don't bother me, I want my space, or I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of times where he and I had a very rough meeting of the minds. And it's funny because he told me one time, he's like, he goes, the older I got, the smarter my dad got. And that comment stuck with me. And he said that at that time to where I took it as he was saying that he didn't think I thought he was intelligent. And I'm like, no, I always think you're intelligent and you may be right, but I don't want to do it that way. I just don't.
Unfortunately for you, that's genetic.
Yeah. But I mean, people have seen the photos of him dressed up as a 6-foot Easter bunny and, the outfits that we used to wear and the different things that we used to do. And I mean, I remember him bringing home squirrels in a bag, and he'd gut them out and everything, and we'd help hold it and whatnot and things of that nature. And it just, I also remember helping people where, people would come over.
Yeah.
Or we do home church. It's life. Life is dynamic,
Man.
It's like Marsha, when we first got together, I said it so often that she's like, I hate that word. It's a fluid situation, right? And it really is. You can either let the wave drown you or you can learn how to ride it.
Yeah. But
like, if you're going to let it drown you 9 times out of 10, you're trying to fight it instead of go with it.
Yeah.
Like cross currents. It was just a blast. I mean, he tried taking me hunting one time. I personally think that the deer hunting went better than the duck hunting. The first time I went duck hunting, Uncle Phil went never again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't able to like.
How old were you?
Sit still enough. How old was I? That was fifth grade, right? That was when we came down.
Oh.
Yeah. I went out once. He's like, nope, you and Jep are staying here.
We should have brought Wyatt, and then they could have seen what you were like.
Oh my goodness.
You were like-
His son is like a the ball in a pinball machine.
Yeah.
Just all over the place.
He's all over the place.
She was making the joke. She's like, you know how you're the new and improved version of him? He's the new and improved version of y'all both combined. And I'm like, that's not a good thing.
The legacy lives on.
No.
It's not a good thing.
'Cause I got a story there. Christine had a lot of knickknacks that people had gave her that they made. Okay, this is antique stuff. Well, Wyatt, he's up on the shelf. Wyatt's about 3/4 monkey, so he climbed up and look. He was in a bad mood that day, so hey, he just looked at those damn busted. So I come in there and I said, "What are you doing?"
I laugh because I'm in this stage currently.
No, but anyway, so I told him.
He was about a year old.
Yeah.
So I tore his butt up. Well, hey, it wasn't 5 minutes. I heard something else crash.
Smash.
I come in there and hey, I did it 3 times, and I mean, hey, this was with the belt, and I whooped his butt. Finally, Marsha come in and got involved. She said, "Wyatt, come here." She said, "You see that man?" And yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. He said, "That's your grandpa. You know what that hard-headedness come from? From that."
Nope.
He said, "You're not gonna beat him. You better listen to him. Or hey, you just gonna get a whooping every 5 minutes."
Yeah.
So they finally quit after that.
You gonna get tired before he gets tired, right?
I got so tickled at that. Said, "Hey, that's where you get all your hard-headedness."
You got to get creative.
Well, what's crazy, you're talking about that duck hunting. This is going to sound weird. One of my core memories of duck hunting, or one of them that I can go back there right now, was actually with you and Si on the dog.
Okay.
And
that was
I
a
never
blast.
forget.
Yeah, that was the day we killed
The canvasback.
canvasback.
Remember, we were looking
Yeah.
all over for everything.
Yeah.
And couldn't find them, and it's because they were coming down from the
Yeah, we
heavens
heard 'em.
so fast.
Yeah, we heard them. It's a roar. You know, we
Dude, that
heard
was
'em.
such an amazing
We're looking
sound.
at one,
Wasn't
and then
it?
all of a
Such an
sudden they
amazing
come
sound.
swinging in front of the blind.
Yeah,
I
And
heard
then-
all about it.
And then we killed. There were 3 of them, and we each got one of them
Yeah.
because the
I
limit was 1, and they come across the decoys and just boom, and we killed all 3 of them. And
She was so looking forward to going, and she got sick, and
Oh, I was pregnant.
yeah,
With
with
the
the
twins.
twins.
So I was back at Si and Christine's.
She
sick
was
as a
not
dog.
doing good that morning at all.
And he comes home and he's just full of energy.
fired
He's
up.
like, you will never believe. And I'm like, thanks.
I'd be like, they sound like a jet engine coming down when they cup their wings.
Oh, yeah.
Like it is such an amazing thing.
It was a while, but that is one of those that
Oh, you would think it was 50.
Yeah.
That's what he was
No.
The
saying.
first thing you didn't think it was a duck. It was like, what in the world is making all that
Yeah,
racket?
what
Like,
is making this sound?
It was but that's one of them deals. Like I've killed a lot of ducks before them, and I've killed a bunch of them after them, and I still remember that. I can go right back to that day, right now, and I'm
that was
like,
actually fun because it was boom, 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 and all 3 of them folded.
yeah, and
So-
we shot them
these
at about.
things, that's the fastest flying duck there is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We shot them at about
Canvasback.
15 yards, and they all fell at about
Yeah.
60. That's how fast they were going.
So
And
did-
look, when they hit the water, they skipped about 4 times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was crazy.
Did Scott redeem himself hunting then
Oh yeah,
with
Yeah,
Uncle
yeah,
Phil?
that was
I was much better. I was
Yeah.
focused,
Yeah.
and I have learned through the military how to not move all over the place. I just got to be focused.
yeah.
And there are sometimes, like when you're a little kid, you haven't quite figured that out yet. When you're one that is, when I was a little kid, some little kids maybe figure it out.
Well, Phil had to have blood drained from him. His body made more blood than it needed.
Yeah,
That's the way kids are. You need to drain the.
You gotta
piss
drain
and
the
vinegar.
energy.
Piss and vinegar they're full of. Maybe then they'd slow down a little.
I mean,
bit.
honestly, they probably could have looked at me and went, you know what? I'm going to use this energy. The dog's going to stay here. When the duck hits the water, go get it.
Yeah, go grab him.
Yeah.
Go grab him, come right back.
Yeah.
Well, Phil always said, and he was a dog man. He said, but hey, look, human beings a lot better because you can verbally tell him where to go.
Yeah,
And
go to the left.
he'll do it. Yeah, go to the left. Half the time dog won't do it.
Scott, I don't know. What's the age difference between you and Trasa? I'm not
2 years.
2 years. So you spent a lot of time in Germany
Mhm.
as well. How was living over there?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I know
But-
Si talks so fondly about it, and some of his core memories of being over there in the service and all the things. So
It was so awesome. Like when you really think about it, like mom was working for the DOD. She was a GS rate at that time. And they weren't going to leave me at home, right? Because I just started school. So I'd walk with her to work. And then, I'd grab my skateboard and skate down, or I'd walk down to go to school. But my roving range was like 10 miles. Once I got a bike, like me and my best friend would literally on the weekends, we'd pack up Top Ramen and some styrofoam cups, right? And we'd pull into the PX and get some water, and we'd straight out base to the woods. And I mean, they had a place there that I used to go down with my friends, the Frogwoods. And it literally was the coolest thing, right? Because Zweibrücken used to be a castle. Right? And I only found this out later.
It's on the top of a hill.
yeah,
Yeah. I only found this out later because there was a wall that I would go mess around with a little bit to look for creatures.
yeah.
And I found out later that was part of the old castle wall.
Oh, okay.
To where they had a German that owned some land down there, and it had a spring, and the spring would come out and filter into 3 different ponds. Well, those ponds had water lizards or newts,
Yeah.
right? I thought it would be a good idea. I'm like, they're always here. I'm going to catch them. I took them to school, and I'm like, $5 for a newt, $20 for a salamander.
Willie Robertson.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
who else-
Willie,
who
Willie
else did
sold
that?
Willie sold
I
candy.
could
Scott,
Yeah,
Scott
yeah.
sold
I'm
lizards.
like, I'm gonna be Petco before Petco even existed if I'd have kept going.
It's that Robertson entrepreneurial.
Now you gotta
Hear
let
it
me
there.
stop this, okay?
Oh, here
you
we
gotta
go.
know the commanding general Okay.
Oh God.
Okay. He knew all of his people. He knew their wives, and he knew every name.
Yeah, man.
So he knew my kids. Okay. So I come into work, and he said, it's very seldom that a 1-star comes to see you personally. So he walked in, and he said, Sergeant Robertson, do you know where your son is? And I said, well, he's supposed to be in school. I said, he's supposed to be in school. And General laughed, and he said, he's not. He said, he's over at the officers club, and hey, he's winning them slot machines.
Dude, no, this is so bad because I was rolling, and I'm like, hey, at least let me get my money. And he goes, no.
Yeah, the guy wouldn't let him. He put it in.
Yeah, big. I
put that quarter in there.
quarters everywhere, and it's like, look, Mom gave me this for video games. That's all my money. He's like, no, it's illegal. You can't. I'm like, they let me in here.
It's all their fault.
It was still irritates me a little bit because I was on a roll. I was on a roll.
On a slot machine.
Yeah,
which is even crazier, right? How do you get on a roll on a slot machine?
Yeah.
And there aren't a lot of people messing with those slot machines, so the probability of me getting on one.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Oh, now.
Yeah, and they even give you at least give you your quarters back, or
no,
he
he drugged me out.
Hold on, I got called.
He drugged me out.
He said, "Hey, keep your son out of the officers club." I said, "Hey."
They let me in.
If y'all let him in, another time, look, the only day I had off was Saturday and Sunday. So Tracy was 16, and she'd have a stupid.
Oh my God, her sweet 16 party.
Yeah, sweet 16 birthday. Well, all the kids in the neighborhood always hung at my house. So hey, this is like 6 a.m. in the morning, and the stupid doorbell rings.
Now here's the thing. Before he gets going with this, right? One of her friends, John, was
a weirdo.
I think. Okay.
He was
no.
He was a nerd, and I mean, when he's weirdo, he's a weirdo.
He's close to 6 feet tall, right?
Yeah.
In
John,
high
if
school,
you're listening, I'm so sorry.
right? He's got glasses,
man.
but he dresses all in black, and he wore one of the
trench coat.
oh my God, the trench coats,
Yeah,
the army,
like the old cowboys wear.
Yeah.
Full-length trench coat.
Yeah.
Okay.
totally black.
Totally black.
So what led to these MPs stopping by is Trasa and her boyfriend at the time, Doug, were tired, and John was acting like a bodyguard,
Yeah.
right? So
Well, they're laying down on the bench.
they lay down on the bench, and John is walking back and forth on his own footsteps, like he'd walk,
He's
do
doing patrol.
do a military about.
Yeah.
He was a little strange.
Yeah.
Do a military about face and then walk. Military about face and walk. So it freaked some people out. Some phone calls were made. Enter the MPs back to his story.
So anyway, the doorbell rings. I'm so pissed because it's 6 a.m.
Not on my day off. Not on my day off.
This can't be happening on my day off. It's the only time I get to sleep in, except when I go home and take a nap during lunch. But anyway, I just got up in my underwear.
Yep.
And I literally just yanked the door. What in the hell do you want?
This poor MP, dude.
They're looking at it like, what?
You wouldn't.
I said, this is my only day off. What are y'all here for? So, well, there's a weird looking dude, and there's 2 kids out there laying on the bench, and I think they killed him. They killed him.
And they're going to come talk to him instead of investigating.
I said, well, what? I said, why are you
His
coming? By
underwear.
that time, Tracy and her boyfriend walk up, with John. And I said, is this? And they said, yeah. I said, get the hell out of here.
Tracy didn't tell this story.
Yeah.
In front of Kyle.
No.
Get out of here. I said, get out of here. But this is the kind of crap that happened all the time in my military career. It was either a kid was where he should not be, or they was doing something they should not be doing.
Oh, my goodness.
Because look, he used to take them to school, them salamanders and newts,
Yeah.
and sell them, and was making pretty good money.
Yeah.
Well, the kids would buy them, and then they get tired of them, they just turn them loose.
The better thing was some of them would die, right? Because I gave them water too, and
Yeah.
I even gave them instructions, right? But here's the wonderful thing, right? It's a gift that keeps on giving. I'd give it. I had parents coming to school like I was a drug dealer. Where she's like, look, my kid's really upset. The newt died. Can you give me another one? And I'm like, I can, but what did you do? And she's like, what do you mean? You're like, well, we use tap water. I'm like, well, that's the problem. You can't do that. It's got to be this type of water.
Got to be.
And she goes, where do I get that?
I told this to your son.
She's like, where do I get that from? And I'm like, I can help you out.
Yeah, I can get you that too.
For a nominal fee.
How much you need?
Hey, for a nominal fee, I can fix this.
Oh, I'd have never dreamed the black market pet trade started with you, Scott. That's a good one. Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah,
it got shut down by the principal because they were trying to sell snacks, and
nobody had any money. You done cleaned them out.
They didn't have time because they're like, no, everybody was in line to get salamanders, and then it's like, what do? You know what I'm saying? They've got little salamanders. Everybody walks back into class, and they've got these little baggies with these water lizards that they can't go anywhere until they get home.
Oh,
the principal and I were on like a first name basis almost.
Yeah, well, I can see that being Si's son. I can believe that. So Scott, how long were
20.
you? You were 20?
Yeah, I did 20.
That's awesome, man. So between y'all, 44 and a half years serving our country.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty stinking awesome.
When I first told him I was going to join, he goes, that's not going to be a good look for you. And I went, what are you talking about? He goes, because you don't like people in positions of authority. And I went, hold on. I don't like stupid people in positions of authority. And that's exactly what he did right there. Y'all, he lost it. He laughed so hard.
My whole life.
He laughed so hard he was crying. And it did not take long for me to come back and look at him and go, hey, Dad, I get the joke now.
Yeah.
I get the joke. He goes, but here's the problem. He said, the joke's not on them. It's on you because you're contracted.
Yeah. Now you're stuck.
You're stuck.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, Marsha, I know we've talked about it on here quite a bit with the Si and the psychotics. How was it going around this country with the crazy old man while y'all were making music and doing things? I'm sure there were
that was fun.
Some pretty core memories in there too, huh?
That was fun traveling with Diva Si. So Si got a cup of coffee in the hotel lobby, and we were driving to go to do sound check, and he decided mid-drive that he no longer wanted his coffee. So he rolled his window down and threw it out the window, and it hit the car right next to us.
Oh, no.
It hit their windshield.
Oh, no, they had their window rolled down.
They drove up right next to us and were doing this and then realized who he was, and they were like, hi, Uncle Si.
You're the only person that ever done hot coffee on somebody.
Yeah, I just rolled my window down and didn't even look.
He didn't even think about it.
I just rolled it down and threw the whole cup out.
Oh.
Well, hey, they was right beside us with their window rolled down, and it went in their car.
No.
So they was getting up to give us what they worth, yo. And then when they recognized, then it was.
Imagine that story at their table.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, y'all ain't gonna believe what happened today.
Guess who threw coffee on me?
Yeah, Uncle Si did. Did you sign the cup for him?
Did
you at least
I don't remember. I think we drove side by side, talking a little bit, and then I said, hey, I got to go.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. Yeah, moving on. But look, I got to get out of here. Man, we thank y'all so much for stopping by and sharing some of these stories. Anytime y'all are back down, please. We've got 2 chairs and 2 microphones. Love to have y'all again. We always close with a Bible verse. And this one I really love. And so it's Philippians 2:12 and 13. And it's just Paul simply saying, I think, what Phil would say right now, right? Therefore, my dear friends, as you have always obeyed, not only in my presence, but now much more in my absence, continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you to will and to act in order to fulfill his good purpose.
Amen.
Right. So thank you guys too in the comments that have offered your support to all of us. We appreciate the support, the prayers, everything. And we'll see y'all next time.
Hey, and I'll leave you with this. Look toward the future.
Amen.
Yep.
That's where it's at.
Amen.
Amen.
That's only can be achieved through Jesus Christ.
There you go. We'll see y'all next time right here in the Duck Call Room. We're out.